Welcome back to episode number 2 of the And One podcast.
Uh, we've got a few topics to talk about today, but one of them is one of them's kind of old, but we still wanted to talk about it because we never got the chance to, and we actually recorded the last podcast a day or a few days before the deal with Mello happened,
Exactly
right?
when the Mellow deal was finalized.
Which sucks because I wanted
Yeah,
to. We could have put that in, but
yeah.
now we're a couple weeks behind.
I think it's good for us to get to understand what it takes to record a podcast, how fast the news comes in, because right now it's the off season. Imagine what it's like once the regular season
Right,
starts, right?
it's gonna be a lot of content to
Yeah,
talk
a
about.
lot of content to cover. So that's why we were talking earlier, just before we started recording, about like recording dates and like posting dates. We were thinking possibly like releasing 2 podcasts, like a month, basically. Just to cover everything all at once, rather than do like 4 podcasts and then just miss something and then fall behind and
Because
then
we don't know how consistent we can be.
yeah,
So I feel like this is more safe than.
yeah, exactly. And I think we're still kind of new to this. We don't even have like 10 episodes out
Yeah,
all
exactly.
together. So it's an experience. I think we've said that before. It's a process
It's
for
gonna take
for
some
us.
time.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna take time. Thank you to whoever listened to the podcast on YouTube. I know it's kind of tough listening to a podcast on YouTube. Um, because yeah, we're SoundCloud. We didn't know originally that like you need to have like a certain amount of hours. I
Uh
believe
huh.
is that
Yeah.
how it
Yeah.
works? So yeah, so thanks to everybody who
We
listened to
needed
it.
to buy SoundCloud Pro
Yeah,
to get into it, but we don't really have the budget to afford that right now.
exactly. So right now we're just putting out content. We're planning on taking clips from the podcast
Oh yeah.
and then just like posting that on social media just to keep you guys updated. And we're thinking of doing some original content.
And
Um,
just posting those clips to get your guys' comments on Instagram or Twitter or wherever,
yeah,
because I know some of you guys may want to talk about things more in depth, and I feel like this we're giving you guys a chance to do that with this.
exactly. And yeah, we kind of need you guys. I'm not asking this. It's not like a demand or anything, but like just interact with us on social media. If you see something that you don't like, and I know a few of you guys have been doing that, just to tell us like what we're doing wrong, and if you like what we're talking about, or if you want your opinions to be heard. Because I think we started like this new original content called I believe it was called like anonymous takes, where we ask you certain amounts of questions and we post it on a story, and
Yeah,
you can respond to us on like via DM, and we'll just take that and we'll put it out there, but without your name, without like just revealing who you are and what you believe in. Let's say you're a Golden State fan. I know there's a lot of pressure with that. Kind of sounds dumb, but like, yeah, if you believe that Golden State's the best team ever, then tell us, right? Feel free. We're not ones to judge. This is a conversation, right? It's a discussion. We're here just having a normal discussion, recording it and posting it online. That's
that's
pretty
literally
much
it.
it. Yeah, we're in no way different from you guys. So yeah, I think that's all for the introduction.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
We appreciate the people who have been DMing us, right? We've seen with like how committed you guys are to us,
Yep.
and we appreciate that.
We appreciate, like, we say this a lot, right? But like, we it's funny, right? Like someone takes their time, like a minute or two, gives you some feedback, even though it's like horrible feedback, like not like horrible feedback. It's not feedback that you want to hear. Let's say you're lacking in this and you're lacking in that, but at the end of the day, it's something that you can use to better your podcast, and you can tell, like you were saying, like that's somebody who cares, right?
Yeah,
And
and I would much rather have that than someone
yeah,
who doesn't say anything at all.
exactly. And I think right now, also, just before we get started, I think us moving into this, finding our niche, talking about basketball, and
Yeah,
then talking about stuff that we
that's weird.
Yeah, yeah, it was really weird. They just turned off the lights for our recording, but yeah, finding our niche and basketball is something that we both can talk about and have like solid conversations and record solid content for the podcast is helps a lot. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think one thing that we need to watch out for this podcast, I was just thinking of right now off the top of my head, is to watch our ums. So like,
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can have a. I feel like we should have a counter.
yeah, like have an counter. Like if anybody hears and just thinks of like ums that you hear, just tell us below. I'm gonna keep.
Oh, you just said one.
Yeah, exactly. It's tough, right? Yeah, so I'll keep counting my head if I can,
Yeah.
and
Same.
so even though it won't happen.
It's gonna be tough, honestly,
It's very tough to come up with things
to say.
on the
Yeah.
spot, right? Anyways, let's move into our first
Topic.
topic, which we covered earlier. Nasty.
It's the Melo deal. Melo deal.
Yeah, Carmelo,
Carmelo Anthony. He signed with the Houston Rockets for a veterans minimum of 2.4
2.4. It's I
million.
believe similar to Isaiah Thomas's
Yes,
deal.
exactly. And I mean, it's not shocking, but it's a big difference from what he had earlier,
Hmm.
right? That insane max. Was it a max contract?
I believe it was a max contract or close to a max contract.
Yeah, which is hefty. Like there was a lot of money in
Yeah,
that
he might
contract.
have been one of the richest paid players in the league,
I think
or
he has the like almost the same amount of money as LeBron right now. Like overall, like
yeah.
throughout his career, totals wise. And this is a big, 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 big drop, right?
Do you want to say to drop from grace for Carmelo being like the number one guy on his team, the richest paid player on his team, stuff
I
like
feel like
that?
this is good for him,
Yeah,
right? But I don't know if his ego is going to get in the way or not because he
yeah,
still wants to be a starter, but I don't see that happening.
yeah,
I don't think Melo. I don't think Coach Mike D'Antoni, Melo has played for in
yeah,
the New York Knicks. I don't think D'Antoni wants him starting, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't either.
yeah. It's a bit of let's wait and see with Carmelo. I think in my opinion, because what he plays small forward,
He
right?
plays small forward, right?
And who else plays small forward in
PJ
Houston?
Tucker, PJ Tucker. Like he played amazing in the playoffs. So the competition for Melo and the starting spot, for me, I don't know. Like Melo has the legacy. That's what he has over PJ Tucker. Like he's got the recognition,
Yeah,
but I don't know if like I think they have to make a decision in training camp or something like that, where and just preseason or something, where they realize who is more effective on the court and who helps out the most. Because PJ Tucker is PJ Tucker doesn't need the ball in his hands. He can work outside. He can wait for the ball, shoot, and that's all he needs to do. He can play defense. Melo doesn't do that. Melo needs the ball in his hands. So does James Harden. So does Chris Paul.
yeah,
And I don't see them sharing the ball like that. And that's why I think Melo should go to the bench. And that way he can be a lot more effective because he could help carry the ball over. He could get his shots up.
yeah.
And he can still get good minutes. Like 20 plus minutes. I can still see that happening.
Um, PJ Tucker is a good defensive
He's an
player.
amazing defensive player. Like I've loved what he did in the playoffs.
I didn't see what he did for Houston necessarily last season, but I remember what he did for Toronto when he was playing for the
Oh right,
Raptors and they
yeah.
brought him in. I believe he was oh man, I'm hungry. I'm really hungry. I remember what he brought. There goes another I, I remember I remember what he brought to Toronto when they signed him. He was a good defensive small forward because at that point I don't think they had a small forward. They had I think
Uh,
Terrence Ross.
Terrence Ross, yeah.
They had Damari Carroll, or they possibly traded him at that
I
time.
think they did.
So he was good because he was shutting down guys like LeBron when they went into the playoffs. And even though he couldn't shut down LeBron,
Well, he did what he could.
he did what he could. He was pretty decent
Yeah.
against LeBron. He wasn't Kawhi, but I think that might be the thing with like you were saying with Houston. If they put PJ Tucker on that lineup with Harden, and Paul. It allows for those guys
to do their thing
to do their thing while
while
he
people
shuts down guys like
exactly
LeBron.
exactly
And then Carmelo can come on, and Carmelo, we know he's possibly like top 10 player in the league.
yeah.
Could we say that top 10 player in the league?
It's debatable, honestly, but he's up there. He for sure
He's
is up there.
possibly like he's top 50 players in the league.
Yeah,
And imagine having a guy like that with that kind of experience and that kind of scoring capability, and coming off the bench and carrying that bench team.
yeah,
That's going to be a nightmare for
and
any team, even Golden State, right? Because they can't play their players
yeah,
right.
and not many people are taking this well. Like Melo joining Houston. So I think I saw this. I think it was. I don't know if it was ESPN or something. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah,
But apparently, they think the Houston Rockets' chances of winning a championship drops because after the addition of
yeah. I remember
Carmelo Anthony.
we were
I think
talking
we
about this.
talked about
Yeah,
that last
yeah,
podcast,
yeah.
and that was really shocking to me because I still think he can work it out. Like we saw what he did in OKC, wasn't that pretty, but uh, he just needs to find the right fit. I think that's what he's missing.
And with guys like James Harden and Chris Paul there, and those guys are his friends. Like I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure,
they're really close.
and we know Chris Paul because of Banana Boat, and he's possibly played. He has played with James Harden on Team USA before,
Yeah,
so there's that level of
right.
them knowing each other. So that should help out a
And
lot with chemistry.
if
And,
USA Mello or Olympic Mello comes in,
oh my god, oh my god, or even Hoodie Mellow.
Hoodie Mello is working right
Yeah,
now, but that would be an insane team. That I would stack up against with Golden State,
yeah.
even though they added DeMarcus.
And I think guys like James Harden and Chris Paul can calm Melo down, necessarily
Yeah,
tell him, hey, don't worry, this is about the long term game. We want to win a championship at the end of the day. It's not about scoring titles. It's not about
yeah, no,
MVPs. And I think Melo, any player who plays in the NBA knows that they want to win the championship.
and yeah, and he especially does because he's aging.
Yeah,
He doesn't have a ring yet, so he needs to sacrifice some pieces of his of his ego and things like that, and let James Harden and Chris Paul lead this team, right? He needs to. I feel like if he could be a really good pick and roll player, pick and pop with James Harden, that would be lethal
I
because
can I can see. I'm trying to picture that in my head right now. That oh my
that would
lord.
be insane.
And then you can have
Chris
guys like
Paul,
Eric Gordon.
right? Yeah, no, like they've got shooters everywhere.
Yeah,
It's scary. It's scary. It's literally like
Eric Gordon was the sixth man of the year last year, wasn't he? Or the year before that?
yeah, I think it was the year before that.
And he comes off the bench. Imagine him and Melo.
That's dirty. That is so
They
dirty.
just got they. I'm looking at it right now. I think they got Nene from the Wizards. He provides spacing, and then you have like
Rebounding and all
Ryan
that.
Anderson, another 3-point shooter.
Right.
I think he's still on the team, unless I don't know if he like they waived him or something. But like, oh my
And they've
lord,
got Clint Capella. Clint Capella has played so well.
we talked about him. We talked
Yeah.
about him last podcast.
Like
Oh
if
my
these
lord.
guys all mesh well after this Mellow trade or Mellow signing, like this is a scary team. But then again, it's like you're all in or you're all out, Mellow.
Yeah,
You can't have both.
and I think I don't know if NBA teams still do this, but there goes another. If you know how I was watching, like I remember the year that in 2013 was it when LeBron won his second championship with Miami, they released a documentary. I think they do that with every single team. And when they at the beginning of that documentary, they showed the team going on a trip to China. So it was a team trip to like together, getting to know each other, some new guys coming in, and that helped, because they start getting to know each other. They see him as like, oh, he's a normal guy.
Yeah.
He's not arrogant like the media says, right? So they start to get him. They get to know the other guy on a personal basis. And I think that helps out when the season gets long and
Yeah.
tough. These guys know each other, right? And they
They're
understand that they're here because they want to have fun. They want to be good friends and they want to win championships. Like, okay, that sounded so childish, but yeah, it helps a lot. And I think that's what teams. I don't know if teams do that, but I don't see it a lot. If teams have like trips or they have like team getaways and stuff like that. And I think we were talking about that with Dougie Hamilton, like the last podcast for the YYC Sport for
Wireless
YC
sports.
Sports. He didn't want to go out with the
Yeah.
team,
Oh, I remember that.
and
Yeah.
that affects the team
Chemistry.
chemistry.
Yeah.
Imagine on the court you can't trust that guy because hey,
Hmm.
what's he gonna do? Is he gonna do something selfish? So
Right, and then your perspective on him changes, and that affects the whole team completely.
very exactly,
Right.
exactly. And I think the idea of having multiple different lineups, and I think Golden State brought that in. One of the first teams to bring that into the NBA of having a good starting lineup,
Hmm.
a good defensive lineup, a good small ball. Remember
Just
that?
everything.
A good 3-point lineup. Those having multiple different lineups for different situations is key
Is
for
key.
for
Yeah.
basketball because I don't think they did that necessarily like earlier.
No.
And coming from a hockey perspective, there's 4 lines in hockey. So you have your first line, which is your 30 goals scorers,
Yeah.
which is, oh my God, my stomach is growling, man. I'm
I heard
starving.
that. Yeah.
If you guys can hear that, just comment down below. So you have those four lines, right?
Yeah.
So you have your top scorers, like your 30 goal scorers, your superstars on the first line. They're the guys who are your clutch players, your mellows, not your mellows, your Hardens and your Pauls. Then you have your second line. So it's kind of like your backup line,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
your what you call, quote me on this, man. What's it called? Your bench. There you
Your
go. They can
bench.
be like your
Yeah.
bench, your second line. Then you have your third line, which is just like your that one line. You don't know what they're gonna do, right?
It's like you're just not sure.
You're just not sure. So they can be a scoring team. They can be a shutdown
Yeah.
lineup. And you have that fourth line, which is just that gritty,
Oh, it's just like really
yeah,
aggressive.
aggressive. So you see how those 4 lines in hockey
Yeah.
play out, and then everybody accepts their role and just plays out as a team.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be with the NBA. And then there's times in history where all 4 lines they just had like 30 goal scorers like on every single line.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Melo can certainly score like 20 points like Lou Williams did
Right.
this season
Yeah.
off the
Exactly.
bench. He could be sixth man of the year.
Mhm.
And he could end up winning a championship. And he could also be Finals MVP. You don't have to be a starter to be Finals MVP. You just have to sink your shots.
You just have
So, yeah.
to affect the team in the right way.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, and I think he can do that. Like it's still there. Like he still got it a little bit. He does. He's not the same Mellow.
He just needs to
Obviously.
change the scenery. Would you
Mhm.
say that?
After what happened in OKC, he
Yeah.
does. Yeah. OKC, he got bashed in OKC. I'm not gonna lie.
There were high expectations. The
Yeah.
big three.
The big three, Paul George. Paul
Yeah.
George stayed too,
Yeah.
and I feel like actually,
Oh my lord.
what if Melo went to the Hawks? What if he just stayed at the Hawks? Because he got waived to the Hawks. I mean, he got traded to the Hawks, then got waived.
Who is on the Hawks right now?
Jeremy Lin, Cam Bazemore.
That's the one guy that's left from that team that went to the
Yeah,
conference finals, right?
Everyone else left.
Jeff Teague left or got traded to Minnesota, I believe, and then unless he went to another
No,
team, maybe.
Yeah, he went to the Pacers and then signed
Yeah.
with Minnesota.
And then you lost Al Horford. Do they?
Boston.
They don't have Kyle Korver.
Kyle Korver to the Cavs.
Yeah,
DeMar to the Raptors.
there you go. So where are they? So yeah, again, at the end of the day, it's all about like we talked about this last podcast. It's about like loyalty, trust,
Exactly.
patience. Those things always come in.
It's all the little things that
Yeah.
you don't think of.
Yeah,
And I they'll be all right. They'll be all right, I think.
yeah. Houston last year they got to the conference finals.
With and Chris Paul got injured. They were doing good. And then Chris Paul got injured, and that's where the tables turned. And that's where Golden State went.
Do you think it's a matter of like but with Boston less like you don't need these extra players coming in this year? Do you think that's going to affect them their
Uh,
chemistry, or do you think
I
that'll
think
just
that'll-
go away
I
as the
think
season
it'll
goes
go
on?
away. I think Boston's a good team. Brad Stevens knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's a young coach, but I respect what he's doing, and I trust him. If I was a Boston fan, I'd be very happy right now.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think do you have anything else that you want to add to the Melo deal?
Melo and Mike D'Antoni, they didn't really see eye to eye in New York, and I'm hoping they see eye to eye here, but I don't know. That might have to. We'll have to wait and see for that.
At the end of the day, I think Melo right now has something to prove. Like
Right.
genuinely has something to prove. before it felt like just criticism from the media, and he was just like, oh, I don't care, I can shoot my way out of it. But now I think people are like, what, especially what happened with OKC, those two other guys stayed and he had to leave,
Hmm.
and everybody's like, okay, Melo might not be the real deal. He's just like a like a
Just
whiner,
talking.
and he's just talking, and
It's all talk.
he's all talk, right,
Yeah.
and no walk. So I think he might have a really good season. There's a lot of guys they're gonna have a lot of
Yeah.
good seasons, and we're
For
gonna
sure.
talk about them in the podcast, and you're gonna see that at the end of this podcast where we have this new segment, players to watch out for. I think this year there's at least possibly like 10 or 20 different
That's gonna have a
players
big impact. Yeah.
that are gonna have that we think that people think, or fans and the media think, are gonna have great seasons just based on their stories.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And just seeing what they did last season
Yeah,
and things like that. But we'll talk about that at the end.
yeah,
Uh, a big topic we can move on to, right? It's kind of sad because the San Antonio Spurs era basically just went crashing down. All they have is Greg Popovich right now,
yep.
because Manu Ginobili just tweeted out his retirement, and it was a sad. It was yesterday, and it was a sad day, honestly, for basketball in general because of the impact that Ginobili had on everyone. He is the reason why the Eurostep is so big.
Hmm.
He literally made that. Like he got it from he got it from European players that he played when he played out in Europe, and he made it into his own move. And now it's basically like it's a principle. Like, you need to know what a Euro step is. You need to know how to do a Euro step. If you don't, then it's just like okay. And yeah, he's. I said out too.
Oh, it's
He's
all good. I probably said it like 20 times.
his impact on international basketball has been crazy.
Like crucial for
Yeah,
international players.
like Argentina specifically has after they won in what year they won 2012.
No, it was okay.
No,
So we had 2012 Olympics, then we have 2008. It was 2004.
2000. Oh, right, my bad.
Oh man, that was a big grump. I'm starving, guys. I'm starving. I don't have lunch.
But yeah, Argentina when they won and everyone from America got really upset with their team. They weren't looking at what Ginobili was doing. Ginobili was killing it,
Oh yeah,
right?
like
Like if you look back,
yeah.
Ginobili was killing that thing. And
Let you know that we are going to have another program coming in now.
Oh yeah,
And
no problem.
before me that you got to leave.
Oh, I thought we had this booked until 4:45 though.
Yes, but I just let you know.
Oh,
Because now it's almost.
because it's 4 o'clock right now, right? So we still have 45 minutes.
No, they got to some, I don't know, they got to some holiday and to prepare their stuff.
Oh,
So
okay.
you got to.
So do we have to leave right now?
No, you don't have to, but I just let you know.
Oh, just letting us know. Yeah, no problem.
okay,
No problem. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So does that mean we leave in like 10 minutes or like?
well, we'll have to get some stuff done now.
Yeah, guys, this is the thing. Should we leave this in the? I just want you guys to know like how hard it is for us to like record and
Let's leave
post
it.
these.
Let's leave it.
Yeah, just because like it's tough for us to book a room, like because these rooms are like pre-booked, right? And sometimes we're always busy. We always got these commitments, and it's like, or for our commitments and like the time that the library isn't booked to line up.
Yeah.
We also had another library we used to go to, and that's going through renovations, and their room is gone. So we only have one library we can attend, and it's always so busy, especially because they have a pretty nice room.
Yeah.
And it's tough, man, because sometimes we get our bookings canceled, sometimes they get approved, and they're like, there's somebody else that's gonna come in. Sometimes they just barge right in, like you just
And
saw.
that's why we're inconsistent with our uploads.
Yeah,
Right. That's why we want to go with something more safe, with where we go two per month.
yeah,
That's. I mean, we I don't even know if we can promise two per month, but we'll try our best to do that.
yeah. With school coming on, we'll see if we can find somewhere in the school where we can record. We can ask if that's fine. Yeah, the
But
library is like tough. Yeah, you can go ahead.
but going back to what Ginobili's thing. Yeah,
And
his
one thing, if it's suddenly just like if we have to like cut it short, it's because of a like
someone interrupted.
someone interrupted. And right now we're not in the process of just like re-recording and then like cutting it together, that's just gonna be too tough. We're just gonna put it out there. We just need to like get it out there. Just get it out there. Yeah.
Snow,
So
Snow who we are.
yeah. So yeah, you were talking about Ginobili.
Yeah, his impact on international basketball. He's spread basketball for sure. Basketball is, I think, the fastest growing sport
Yep.
in the world, and he has a huge impact, especially in the South Americas, right? And
Because he is from Argentina.
he is from, yeah, exactly. And I expect him to keep impacting international basketball even after he retires.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Because he was such a big deal. Like for people outside of America, I think he was a really big deal. Like for even for European players, because he impacted them at a young age as well, and he's also for sure Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah, oh
Right.
yeah, oh yeah.
For what is it, NBA champion?
NBA championships, like finals, like MVP for like the European basketball thing after
Yeah.
he won the championship
Exactly.
in Europe. That's before he even made it into the NBA.
He got was it FIBA or?
Yeah, he won that FIBA championship. Possibly he won the Olympics with
And
Argentina.
he has his own career stats. Those career stats as well with San Antonio are insane.
And all under like let's say like
66.
low key, like very low key. Like you don't hear too much about Ginobili. Like we were talking about Melo, like just right? Melo doesn't want to come off he doesn't want to come off the bench. He wants to be the guy. Look at a guy like
Ginobili's
Ginobili.
perfect.
Ginobili is just, and that's I don't know if that's the thing with San Antonio or just the players that they bring in, or that's maybe with international players.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like international players are possibly like more loyal,
Yeah.
just because they know like
They value it more.
they value it more because basketball in their countries isn't the number one thing, right? Versus America, basketball is the thing, and you work at it every single day. So like, yeah, I want it more, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I think Melo, if you want to look at a good player, and I don't want to say Melo is a bad guy, but if you want to look at the perfect, I don't want to say perfect because there's never
A
perfect.
teammate, the
Yeah.
perfect teammate.
The perfect teammate, a good player, a good role model in basketball.
Someone that's really coachable.
Yeah, coachable. Who's gonna, because there's multiple times in his career, even though he was in his prime, he was coming off the bench. Last year he was coming off the bench.
Exactly.
And he blocked James Harden last year. You saw that, right?
Yeah, his impact for me is just insane.
It's crucial. Oh boy, it's raining outside too.
Oh no.
Oh my lord. Hey guys, it's okay. We're just recording. It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, it's crucial for guys like for guys like Melo to look at guys like to look up to guys like Ginobili, mainly just to see a guy like Ginobili. He won championships and he has like personal accolades, right?
Mhm.
Melo has personal accolades, but he doesn't have championships, right?
Exactly. He can't speak for that.
He can't speak for that. So maybe look at a guy like Ginobili, and for these young superstars right now, look at guys like Ginobili, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Kawhi was there. Kawhi was looking up to these guys. When these guys were in the locker room with him, you could sense that Kawhi was a lot different.
Mhm.
But now that these guys have left, Kawhi is starting to get into this this new culture.
He's becoming more of a leader.
Yeah,
Like a vocal leader. He's been a leader that's been an example. Like he's an example, and he leads in his own way.
yeah,
But yeah, like their impact on Kawhi is pretty big.
exactly.
Right.
And I think Kawhi has that base, for lack of a better word, that he can go back to. Like they built him up like in the NBA, so he had those good role models. They taught him, the fundamentals. He has those good fundamentals, and so maybe when he gets into a tough situation, he knows how to handle himself.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, so
all that's left is Pop now, and I don't even know if Pop is going to stay for that long.
How old is Pop? Is he in his 80s?
I
wouldn't be surprised if he was in his 80s.
But he's been around. He's been in the league for a long time.
And he just got into USA basketball.
Oh yeah.
So he might coach until maybe he dies, or like maybe 5 years before, like he's just like, I'm done.
I'm done. Yeah.
Not like I'm done in basketball, but like I'm done.
It depends on. I think it depends on.
Yeah.
I think it depends on how good the San Antonio Spurs are, and how much stress he can handle.
Yeah.
Because I think the era is done. I think they're gonna have to. They're gonna go and they're gonna dip low. Like they've always been a playoff team.
Yeah.
And I think that this season too they'll be okay. I guess they still have Marcus
If you
Aldridge.
look at like teams in like the big four leagues, so you have like NFL, you got the Patriots and the Packers. Those guys have been consistently making the playoffs, and I think that might be because they have good players, like good role players, or like not role players, like good superstars, Aaron Rodgers
Yeah,
and Tom Brady, and then Tom Brady has that good coach in Bill Belichick, right? And then if you look at the NHL, you had the Detroit Red Wings who made the playoffs like 20 straight years. They had a good coach. They had a good
yeah,
coach. The
that's
guy
consistent.
who they had good coaches and they had good players in the 90s and the 2000s, right? And then if you look at it, what's the other one that's left? The NHL, NBA. Did we talk about the NFL?
MLB.
Yeah, MLB. I don't know if there's teams that actually make it every single year in the MLB. But if you look at teams who like are like consistent, like the Yankees and the Red Sox who actually make the playoffs or are constantly favorites, is because A,
Mm-hmm.
they have the money and they always buy good players. So you always need
Yeah,
good players like that fit within your system. Are they turning off the lights on purpose to like kick us out?
yeah. I think they're like warning us, like,
Yeah.
get out.
Yeah. So hey guys, if it cuts abruptly, we're sorry. So yeah, so if you have guys like good players and you have a good system, not necessarily a good coach, and then on top of that you have a good
Yeah,
coach, which I think Popovich
is
developed that system in San
amazing. Yeah,
Antonio, then that team is always going to be consistently successful because you've built it like with a good foundation,
yeah.
and so whenever like there's like tough situations or like tough moments, that they will hold.
And I think they still have a good future. They have Dejounte Murray as a point guard,
Yep.
and I think he has a really bright future. And he might be the only reason why Pop wants to stay.
And don't worry, like they have good guys in Pirtle and DeRozan.
Pirtle, right?
Yeah,
Oh, DeRozan, dude, I
DeRozan is
forgot
still there,
about
and the
DeRozan.
Marcus Aldridge. I forgot about him too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How could I forget about DeRozan? That was huge.
and if you're talking about young guys, Pirtle. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was more pissed off about them losing Pirtle than then and
DeRozan.
then losing them than losing DeRozan. Like watch this like 5 years down the road. You're gonna see why, because Pirtle was possibly like the best. Like he was probably like the next good European center,
Yeah,
and and he could have played with DeLon Wright because they played in the same college. They had that chemistry.
and he can bloom really well in San
Yeah,
Antonio. San Antonio does
they
that to
have
them.
that system. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
only thing, like, sorry I cut you off, but the only thing that I'm like kind of like worried about in San Antonio is their medical staff.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
Kawhi
So
left. So if they fix that, or whatever problems going on
yeah,
over there, I think they'll be
and I
okay.
think Pop will have like something to do with that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
for sure. We should probably move on before we get
Yeah.
kicked out.
So
Okay, well now we're gonna talk about, or we're just gonna bring up a player, Dennis Smith Jr. And he's one of those players that you should be looking out for this next season
definitely, yeah.
because like last season, his rookie season, he was insane in my opinion. Like he wasn't a breakout rookie like Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, Ben Simmons, but I think he has the potential to go up there, right? I think he has the potential to be an all star and to be a superstar for the Dallas Mavericks to take over the franchise. But then again, there's also Doncic.
Yeah.
So so I don't know if you have an increase in minutes, right? But because of Doncic and how I don't know how they're gonna play that out. If he's gonna slide to the two spot
Yep.
because of Doncic, have some playing time together. Don't know how that's gonna work, but he did a lot of scoring, a lot of point like being a playmaker and all that.
He is. Okay. He's not a triple double kind of player though.
He's not no.
No.
Yeah. Well, he's done that.
A quick stat about him, he's the third youngest player last year. I think in around November of like 2017, he had a triple double, and he's the third youngest player to get a triple double. After, everybody knows about
Mhm.
Alonzo, and everybody knows possibly like LeBron is
Yeah,
youngest player to get a triple double. So yeah, so I didn't hear about that. That was kind of shocking for me to hear.
that's
So
impressive.
yeah,
That's really impressive. And
he
I
played.
think
He came out of North Carolina too. They're
yeah,
good system.
and I think the Dallas Mavericks got a really good pick.
Yeah,
Like I believe that I really do. And Dennis Smith, I think I predict that he'll do really good next year. Uh, but he needs to impact. Like Dallas isn't that good last year, right? And I don't expect him to be amazing, right? But I think they can get a few more wins because of this dude, and because of if he gets the ball and if they play around him. Even though they have Harrison Barnes, right? Even
Oh
though they
yeah,
have
they still have Harrison Barnes. Yeah,
Harrison Barnes is still their number one option, I think,
yeah,
right? And it wouldn't make sense not to be. But I think he'll
yeah.
bloom into the player he should be, which is someone like a Westbrook, someone like a prime Derrick Rose, where they
Oh yeah.
like I see his highlights and that's all I can think of.
He's got major hops. This guy, man.
That's all I can think of. Like the way he plays, the way and he can shoot. He can shoot.
Is he explosive?
He's insanely explosive. I think
Okay,
he has
that's
the
scary.
potential to go past them.
That's real scary.
Like
And do you
that.
think Dallas has that kind of system for him to like, for
Well,
them
they
to
have a
like
really
help him
good
cultivate?
coach. They have a really good coach, Rick Carlisle, and we've seen that with them winning the championship.
They also have Nerlens Noel too.
Oh, do they still have
Yeah,
him?
I think they still have him. I don't know
Okay,
if we should.
search that
We'll check that up right now. I'm like really nervous that somebody's just gonna come in.
up. Oh no, they don't. They have DeAndre now because
Oh yeah, they
yeah
have DeAndre.
they have DeAndre now, which is
Oh,
crazy.
another like
Okay, never
Lob
mind.
City.
Hold up. Remember Harrison? Remember when I was talking about Harrison Barnes?
Yeah,
Scratch that.
scratch that.
DeAndre.
Hey, what about Dirk though? Dirk.
Dirk's. I mean, Dirk's always there. Dirk's always the person. Like you can rely on his jump shot. I think.
Is it just me or is this like I don't know about this, but like any 30 teams that you can, I don't know if this is just something that happens with every single basketball fan, but I think once you get used to NBA basketball, but is it just seem that we have way more superstars now than like
Well, a lot more.
than
Yeah.
in like the 80s or the
Yeah.
90s?
Exactly.
Like I don't understand, like every single team you look at there's at least like
A good player. At least
one
one
or
All Star.
possibly two all-stars. Some
Yeah.
teams have like three or four.
And that's why there's those snub All Star teams
Yeah.
that people make because there's so many that some do have to get cut out. Like there's not enough spots on an All Star team roster.
Should they do something that like the NHL did, where they have like okay, the NHL granted NHL has like four different divisions, right? They have the Pacific, Central,
Yeah.
Metropolitan, and the Atlantic. So what if they did and they broke it up into like four different like all star teams and they had like a tournament 3-on-3, like the NHL or
Oh.
like because the NHL is like 3-on-3 hockey,
Okay.
and they
Word.
bring in like 10 different players for each team and they just like sub off like
Like
5-minute
four
quarters or 2-minute quarters.
That could work, dude. Adam Silver, if you're listening.
Adam Silver, if you're listening, guys, if you get this out there, we're gonna post it on social media, man. Get this out there to Adam Silver, man.
Adam Silver, we need to get 4 All Star teams next year.
Exactly. Not even if next year doesn't work, in the future possibly, yeah. So
Like this should be a topic just like up there with the 4-point line topic.
and that would actually like help with views as well because that's what the
Exactly.
thing that was going on with the NHL, right? They had no views for the All Star game, and then ever since they brought in the 3-on-3, and there's just like fun moments and players having fun, and players are actually genuinely like liking it, and they had like a little bit of like I think you talked about this last podcast where they have like $1 million like reward.
Yeah. I remember this. Yeah.
Imagine if they did that, and it would just be amazing. No players would get snubbed. Players wouldn't be like they wouldn't, be pissed off and be going on Twitter and stuff like that.
It's a really good marketing move.
Very good marketing move. So
So yeah, Adam Silver. Tweet this out to Adam Silver, whoever's listening.
yeah, I'm gonna tweet this out too everywhere. We're gonna post it on social
retweet
media.
our tweets.
Yeah. So yeah, granted, if we're, I think should we like end it right here just so
Yeah,
we can have
just
some
in
time?
case.
Yeah. So I think let's just talk to you guys for just a bit. Like I'm thinking, yeah. So right now we're gonna move. We're not gonna strictly stick to podcasting. We're gonna try to get clips out there. We're gonna try to get original content out for you guys.
Just
Yeah.
more content out of this.
Yeah. So I think this is just like our base or like our root for
We're gonna break it down. That's what's
Yeah.
gonna happen, and then and we still have more like what is it like anonymous takes. We're gonna have like a weekly thing.
yeah, we're probably gonna have something that has to do with shoes and like sneakerheads
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
So if you're a sneakerhead, get excited.
Very excited. I'm not a sneakerhead, so I don't know. So yeah, but yeah. So get excited, guys. I think we kind of got a good taste of what it's like to like record, post, edit.
Which is a lot, but
Yeah, but granted, I think right now, I think our focus like is like I think we narrowed down our focus. That's what
which
I'm
is
trying to
really
say.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because last time I know for myself included, I don't know about you, but like I was thinking very big, very large. This thing like it like to like
let's
make
cover
the
all topics.
cover all topics, and they just turn on the lights again.
Dude, are they? They're playing with us.
Yeah, they have like cameras or something. They're probably watching us, guys. No, I'm just kidding. But like, yeah. So I think if we narrow it down and just like have this good base and stuff that we're good at, we can like bridge into like other stuff in the
Mhm.
future. So yeah,
I'm excited.
I'm very excited. Just give us. I think we've been doing this since December, so we've done this for about 8 9 months,
Yeah, which is crazy.
which is crazy. I think give us another 8 or 9 months, and we're gonna put out solid content
Yeah,
for you guys.
exactly. And but yeah,
Exactly. Thank you for listening. Like us, like the YouTube video. If we get it out on any other platform,
we
like
can't
that as
get it
well.
out. We can't get it on SoundCloud anymore unless we start a new account. We'll see.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll have to see.
if we do get it out on SoundCloud, make sure you just look in the description. We'll have the links for everything.
Exactly. And yeah, follow us. I think next. I think Twitter. We're starting to get used to Twitter. I think you're pretty used to Twitter.
Yeah, we're always on Instagram.
We're definitely. I think that's our number one
So
place. Instagram.
so if
Follow
you're
us on
yeah,
Instagram.
if you want to hit us up or if you want to talk to us,
Yeah,
Instagram's the way to go.
DM
Or
us.
email if you want.
Email us, DM us. Yeah, like the video, comment. See, there you go. There was another. I was just gonna say it right now. If you found out if there was a bunch of just tell us how many that you counted. I know, like I'm pretty sure like nobody's gonna comment but like
but I mean, if you noticed,
if you noticed, just give us like put
over
a comment
50.
down. If okay, give us like a rough estimate. Don't give us like a specific amount, but like you're saying over
Yeah.
50 and stuff like that. But yeah, so I think this is our outro.
Should we
Yeah,
have a word?
a word. What do you think? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Maverick for Dallas.
Hey, Dallas. Hey, and Maverick too. Logan Paul versus KSI.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Yeah.
That just happened.
Yeah, that just happened, guys. Recording today is the 28th of August, so
Yeah.
we don't know when we're gonna get this out. So, anyways,
If so, yeah. Comment Mavericks if you got all the way to the end.
yep,
And other than that, we appreciate you listening.
very much.
And yeah, that's it. Peace.
See you later, guys. Hopefully.